Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Just Free coming back at you with the third part of my series of reactions to Sonya and V. Lenore. Shout out to V. Lenore. Make sure y'all go over there, subscribe, like the video, all of the things. I had some issues with my computer as far as having to free up some space. So in the meantime, I just uploaded the two videos I had. I wasn't trying to make a part three, but unfortunately, again, like I said, with the space issue I had. So let's finish this up, and hopefully this will be the last installment. All right, let's go.
Yeah, hell, you done made me lose my train of thought. That's
Uh-huh.
crazy.
You know we all no,
I know you get me messing me up.
supposed to have your notes.
No,
Now
I was
listen,
saying it. I didn't even know.
this is the thing with people. A lot of people when they see somebody get accused, they automatically say, "Oh, they did it," and then
No,
their mind just sticks to
That's
that.
not true.
And then when they throw out a pass, oh, he really did it because he got a pass. I got a pass, and I've been accused and took a plea on some shit that I didn't even do. I didn't even do, but they this that and the other and all this other stuff. So I know a lot of things from going through a lot of things, and I know that as bad as I was in my 20s, I would never do those things again.
but my
Period.
question for you right now is, and I just remembered, if you are to find out that he's guilty, or you see
Mhm.
the evidence in your face, what will be the lesson for you?
Will be the lesson.
Yeah.
I, I mean,
Hmm.
one thing I feel like right now because I'm not doing anything, and I'm not really consumed with this as people are. I think people are way more consumed than I am because again, I don't think about this situation.
Girl, shut the hell up, Sonya. You wouldn't be on these damn channels and in these chats if you wasn't consumed with this. Stop trying to act like you so above it all. You thought you was gonna get your little ass on here, say what you had to say, and then the people was gonna disappear. But no, it's certain channels that continue the reporting as they find out new information. Um, and I mean, a lot of people are getting a check from this. So you can call it consuming or whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. People then fell down into the rabbit hole. Now, shit, if I'm going to get a check with it, I might as well, continue to pursue it. And the people are still interested. Now, once the people stop tuning in, that's a different story, bitch. But just like any other reality show, this is our new reality. So be clear. It's not nothing about being that invested. Because the minute I log off, I don't think about you and nobody else on this damn internet, lady. So be clear. This is entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Ernesto is the one that's got to live his real life. We all have real lives, and again, um, just like anything else you watch on TV, bitch, we watching, we listening, people investigating. I mean, if you didn't realize, that's the new gig, boo. That's the new gig. Okay? Just like you can go make a few coins doing a DoorDash or a Uber, bitch, I can stay right in my house and be on this computer. Now, I ain't getting paid because I'm not monetized yet. But, sis, be clear. If I was to ever get to the point where I got a check for a few $100s, and you know what I'm saying, I continue to pursue this here, then yeah, it's gonna be like that. So you need to stop flattering yourself. You girl.
Unless I have to talk about it, which isn't even every day. Ooh, crap. Let's go. Is it 10 o'clock? Crap.
Almost, yeah. I won't keep you much longer. Real quick.
Um,
Because I did want to ask you specifically how
he's
you
on.
felt.
He's not gonna be able to. talk on this phone because it's on the same thing
No,
that
you
me and
can
you are
you
on.
can you can put him on speaker. Just put him closer. Is that him calling?
That was him. I'm gonna just I
Y'all, we
told him to
need
come
to
here.
talk to her nurse though. I'm gonna ask about the jail calls. Thank you, a pimp. Thank you. And
And again, I don't know how Sonya found this person, V Lenore, but I do have to say, like, you know, she's very respectful, um, and seems to be very what's the word? Uh Convincing that, she um wouldn't come at her crazy. But I also think, because I don't think she has a lot of videos on this, do she? I don't know. I think she might have a couple of videos on here. Again, fair use, fair use, fair use. I don't know. Shit. Yeah, she doesn't have any videos on this, so she must have, like, been in the bushes, and then Sonya must have looked her up and said, "Well, she ain't really talking shit about me, so I guess I'll go on her show." But I'm glad she did, though.
thank you. And
Tell
actually,
you
you
how
guys,
to feel about it.
yeah, I want to ask you, how did you feel when you learned? First of all, forget this, the voice, the video calls. How did you feel initially when the phone calls showed up on the internet?
What now?
When the
Hmm?
phone, is that him?
What happened?
No, I said, how did you feel when you noticed that those phone calls were on the internet?
Oh, when they hit the internet. So
Yeah.
half the stuff that we talk about, I forget as soon as we talk about it because I ain't got no memory. And a lot of that's just keep up.
And let me just say this real quick too. I noticed that because there was some kind of delay in here. And I guess I don't know. Ernesto, I guess, was trying to call. Bitch, why? If you, I mean, and no shade to V Lenore, but how you gonna keep putting this man on speaker, telling him to having him talk to people? And if I was him, I'd be like, bitch, I ain't talking to nobody else. Um, Tasha K, one thing, because she got over 1 million subscribers, and I probably been like, listen, maybe you could tell your side of the story. I don't know what that'll do for you, but I to me it seemed like she just keeps trying to get this attention, and it's not really working in her favor. But go off, sis.
Just keep him like occupied mentally because he just sitting there and he'd be like trying to find something to talk about. He'd be sitting there like, because we never really talked long on the phone. It was always, what's your day like? How's this? All right, click. That was it. It was never no
So again, another example of how she don't fucking know him.
long conversation. So once he went to jail, you sitting there like, okay, now you got to talk about something, you know? So I only seen him a handful of times. Ain't too much to talk about because, what else he gonna talk about? We never had the type of situation where, oh, this, it was just a breakfast call type scenario, right?
Hmm.
So
Girl, you sound crazy as hell. I mean, if you wanna know what you could talk about, I mean, that's why I hate jail phone calls, because you get into a conversation, and then before you know it, it's like the operator saying, you got 30 seconds left or 60 seconds left, whatever. But I mean, you could ask this man about his life story, his background growing up as a kid. I guess she knows some of it. You can talk about current events and shit. So, I mean, it's stuff to talk about. Um, Child.
when when they got out, I didn't think much of it because I didn't think, we don't talk about nothing. So I wasn't thinking, I still don't really think it's too much of it other than the encounter conversation. I I don't think much of the conversations,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. He don't know why. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Hi, everyone. Thank you for supporting. Please be
I
kind.
don't know, just like he don't know why people are so like, why is it so interesting? Because again, it's not like, 99% of the time that we talk, it's like boys. Like we don't be on there boo boo and miss you and I can't wait to hold you. It's not that type of conversation. It's just how's core, what's going on, and whatever's happening in my life, which ain't too much because I don't do too much of anything. Nothing's going on in his life because he's in jail. So it's basically current events and whatever you can kind of like.
Because these charges are salacious as hell. First of all, and second of all, um, obviously it's the Steve Harvey connection to Shirley Strawberry to him. So be clear, like that's the only reason. Other than that, nobody would give a damn. However, with that being said, since that is the reason, you know, that's why people are tuned in, miss. I mean, since y'all just can't understand, like y'all just some oh my god, like people are just like falling all over themselves um because for no reason. Bitch, girl. Like I said.
So
Try
you
to
weren't
stir it
freaked
and
out.
talk.
You weren't freaked out. You weren't nervous. You weren't upset or mad when you learned that they were out on the internet. That's what you're saying?
So it is upsetting to have them out there, but if they listen to them and let it go, that would have been cool. It's the fact that you keep hearing people just ride it and just keep wanting to know. And you be sitting there like, why are you asking me something when you don't even know me? Regardless of the fact, it's one thing when if
Right.
I, it's
Right.
one thing if I was the one that came out and brought, the situation now. So I brought it out. So now it's like, well, you put yourself.
Bitch, you don't have no control over what people choose to look into. Half that shit is what you call it? Free and open to the public. So, the people that's involved, first of all, blame Ernesto bitch. Because if he hadn't did what he done, then shit, we wouldn't know your ass. But because he did what he did, now we do. So you can talk to him about that. Um
Out there and it's like, no, I didn't. I had to eventually say something because the bloggers kept dragging and calling me all kind of hoes, this, and kept trying to interpret conversations to say, oh, this is what they're talking about. Oh, this is who she's talking about. And I'm saying like, no, that's not, and no, that's not who I'm talking about. And it just kept with this whole narrative. And then so we were like, okay, so if the calls die down as far as the views, then it's gonna just fade away. But I kept watching the numbers and the numbers and the numbers, and I was like, man, this ain't going nowhere. He was like, what? I'm like, man, 30,000, 40,000 views. Like, what the hell? I was like, why are these people still listening to this stuff? It's like not exciting. No one I knows listens to the calls or even know about the stuff on the internet. My daughter, nobody.
well how the
They
hell
know, but they don't pay attention. They
well how the hell she find out about it? Who told her?
don't open it up. They've never looked at anything. These are all people I do not know that watch this stuff. No one else watches this stuff. I don't even watch it unless somebody calls and tells me, to watch it because I'm trying to figure out what, like, it's just two people talking on the phone. Okay, so what? He's still
Okay.
married.
Well,
People who's married. Okay, so 50% of all marriages, somebody's cheating. Y'all act like that just never occurs. So that's not even something
not
to
that
make
we
it look
don't. No,
like.
no, no, no. Let's not dismiss it like no one thinks it occurs.
But
We
it's
know
not a
it
big. It's
occurs.
not.
That's why
It's not
we
a
don't
big
understand. Wait, wait,
issue.
wait, Sonya. We know it occurs, which is why in our 50s we should wonder if these men are married when we meet them, and then when we find out if they're married.
Listen, bitch, I'm 44 years old, and I would never. That's one of the very first things I'm asking. Even without a ring, are you married? Be clear.
that problem going. That's why that could be why I didn't think nothing of it because in all my life of dating, I never ran across the situation. I never a married man never stepped to me that I knew eventually was
Girl,
married
shut
and
up.
said anything to me. So a
Bye
married man
bye.
could have, but he probably never got anywhere with me for me to find out eventually he was married. So I've never had that for me to try to think about it, and nor has anybody that I've talked to. I mean, the girls that I deal with, um, ever had that. So maybe it was lack of thinking about it because I never went through it, but now I do because been there, done that. So it's like now I purposely go and I make sure, look, hey, are you like when was your last girlfriend in? Because this one guy was talking to me online and he was all like, "What's up? I want to see you." And I go on his page and 2 months ago, he was putting a ring on somebody talking about I love her, my mama love her, and all this, that, and the other. And I'm like, why does he keep trying to come and see me? And he just put a ring on somebody's finger 2 months ago. So I'm like, I'm screenshotted. I sent it to him. Dude called me like, "Oh, you want some childish shit, this, that." And I'm like, why are you giving it to me? I just want to understand. You said you single, but here you are 2 months ago putting a ring on somebody's finger, talking about my mama love her and she's everything to me and da 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 da. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And you trying to come at me like I'm wrong. I'm like, look, or whatever,
And
So
that's
it's
my
like,
point. And that would
hmm,
be my point. That would be my
yeah.
point.
So
Because a
again, I
question
didn't
like
think
that.
about stuff like that because I didn't experience it, but I did experience it just with this situation. So now I'm like, dude, like, you know, I question it. I
What?
Okay, so
question
back to my original question. So you weren't feeling any way about those video, I mean the phone calls, because you knew they were recorded, and even though you
Yeah.
didn't know they would be on the internet, you didn't trip so much. You guys were careful about what you talked about. However, when you got to the video calls, did that
It's
surprise
the
you?
same. It's the same conversation.
But I'm gonna tell you, on the first or second video call, one of the things you said was, "Look, we can't talk on the phone, so let's talk here." Because I don't think you thought that those calls were gonna make it
Yeah,
to the
because
internet
it
too.
was right. Because it was because the only thing that was a difference was YouTube. That was the only difference. That's why. Because the prosecutors on all the calls, the prosecutors on all the text messages. We
Well,
know that. Yeah, so the
with the
only
video
difference
calls,
was
you
on
didn't
that. The
think.
jail calls was certain things he was like he couldn't say because he had a meeting with the lawyer and he was like, "I can't talk to you on the phone about it. You got to come here and I'll talk to you about it," because he didn't want it all over YouTube. Right. But it again, the prosecutor's always on the phone, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. It's just certain things you don't
The
want
prosecutor always on the
Right, and you
phone.
you
guys
don't
call it.
want on in the YouTuber. But again, it still wasn't no intimacy type of conversation. It was just a conversation that he just didn't want all over like YouTube. That's the thing. You don't want it all over, but at the same time, it's because I know it's not, I don't feel like the conversations are all that deep and this, down the other, where people run the way they run with it. And the way they just keep every time something plays, a blogger want to go and do a whole tutorial on a phone call between two people they don't even freaking know.
A
And it's
tutorial.
just that part is just what's crazy. It's one thing that they play them. Okay, you listen to it, it's whatever. But when they try to go, let's break it down and let's and see she's talking about such and such and then they put the headline and nothing matches. And I'll be like, what? I had never talked to that
Now,
person in my word. And I go play it and I'm like, no, they didn't sit there and try to make it seem like I'm talking to such and such when I'm not, and I'm talking about somebody else. But apparently, it's only one person that I could know that does this, and it's just crazy to me. But then it's being messy because I see, which I didn't know before I got caught up in the YouTube streets, that they say these things because I used to watch the stories on YouTube and I used to sit there and believe that stuff like, wow, for real? That's messed up, you know, until it happened to me. And I was like watching it and just listening to it like, that's a lie. That's a lie. These people be lying for real. Like, because
well,
he used to tell me,
tell me this. With that said, tell me three lies that they've said about you that you've heard out in the internet,
oh my God, you want me to remember?
or at least a
A phone
couple.
call. A phone call. Me and him was talking about somebody else. He said it was me and him talking about his wife. That his wife was calling me, and me and her was on the phone. I was like, what? Well, never talked to her ever. I was talking about somebody else that was in radio, and it wasn't her because I know people in radio. Um, and when that girl was telling all that stuff about me when she was trying to break my life down, and this is this, and you know, my daughter dances, I dances, What else did she say that was a lie? She said some other stuff. I can't remember all of that.
But that mistake is an easy one because you worked in a strip club, so they probably just assumed if you're in the strip club, you're a stripper.
She knew she was saying it to be a dig because she was saying I was up on the pole with dudes feeling and fingering me and stuff. She was saying it to be just to be nasty, and she kept harping on it. And I was like, and you hear me when I'm talking, you know I've never worked in a strip club. You can't find no pictures of me in those strip club outfit to even run with that. So when I'm talking about strip clubs, anytime I ever talk about it, I talk it from a manager's point of view. I don't never talk about, yeah, because my customers used to come in. I never said that. So that's the only thing that dancers, entertainers say is my customers. When my customers come in and see me, that's dancer conversation. I've never said that. I've only talked about uh, working in the aspects of an owner or when I used to manage. So it's not an easy thing to say type of scenario. And I was almost 40 when I started working in strip clubs. So who is 40 starting to strip? I know strippers that have been stripping till they
Yeah,
40.
but they weren't looking at your length of employment probably or the years there. I don't know what they were looking at, but they obviously knew you worked
She
in a
wasn't
strip
looking at
club.
anything but to be messy because the same time she said that she called me a hoe. So she again was being messy
Well, they're
deliberately.
being messy because
And
you with a married man.
don't matter it ain't their business. It ain't the way they was trying to insert themselves. They're acting like it's
Are they
me and them.
inserting themselves, Sonia? Or are they just giving commentary on your life because you're involved with a person who's connected to a public person who's
It's
connected
one way.
to a
It's one thing to
very public
report. It's
person?
one thing to just report it and just leave it like whatever it is. Like they from what we hear on the phone calls, it seems like they had an intimate moment or two. But listening to the phone
Today
calls
you
after
told
that,
him in the video
um,
call today, you told him that he's yours. He's your man.
yeah, I didn't listen to that. I didn't listen to that, but I did. But did you listen to it or you just read the heading? Because on the other one when it says Sonya says she's YouTube famous, and I'm like, when did I say that? And so I
You
actually
did say it
watched
in
it.
there.
I did say it, but they put it on the heading like that's all I talked about. You get me? So when they put it on the heading, you're thinking that's all I'm talking about is your mind, and da 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 da. So I didn't listen to that
You gotta
video,
draw the people in, girl. You gotta draw
but
them in.
still, don't be messy. And that's the problem I got now with phone calls from prison is now they jumped on the messy wagon. It was one thing when they was just saying Sonya talks about da 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 da, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Tell it like it is. But when you're trying to put all that, they don't have to because they getting the traffic anyway. They don't
No,
even
they
have
got
to be
to. They
messy.
want more traffic, girl. This is a business. And it ain't our fault that Nesto is
It's a
in jail.
business,
We ain't
but it
do
ain't reality TV.
it. It is. It's better.
It's not. It's not something we signed up for. And when you sign up for reality TV, you sign up for people to be in your business and judge you and talk about you. It's part of it. You get a check for it. This is something that we didn't sign up for. This is something that we was dragged out about, and then they want to drag it and drag it and drag it and drag it and make him look a certain way, make me look a certain way. They was coming for the wife for like 8 9 months. They was coming for her. You know what I'm saying? It was just them trying to just be overly messy and nasty with no consideration that these are real people going through stuff. And regardless of if somebody feel like he did it or not, you still got to just wait and see what the outcome is. You can't sit there and prejudge a situation that has no evidence. All it has is a couple of comments, and then he can't say anything to try to dispute the comments. He can't say anything right now. So all it is some comments.
Bitch, he don't need to worry about no comments on no YouTube. Bitch, you worry about getting that money up so you can get a damn lawyer. That's what you worry about. This is the least of y'all worries. Much as you spend time on here trying to give interviews and shit, you need to be out there stripping to get some money to pay the damn lawyer, bitch. Strip and get a lawyer. They got stripping for the elderly.
Comments that
All
when we
right.
go to court that has no supporting evidence. So, like I said, we went to court and they have supporting evidence of anything to say, okay, that's true, or he did that, fine, no problem. But every time we go to court, I'm like, why are they charging him? What? That don't even make sense. And it's crazy because they sat there and they said all this stuff and they was like, well, his name's not on any of it. I'm like, then why are you charging him? Oh, well, that happened in Kentucky. Then Why are you charging him? And it wasn't even sent to him. It was sent to this company and not him. And what happened after? We don't know what happened. We just know they went up there and this is what transpired. Yeah, but that's not a crime. What happened after that? We don't know. We didn't do any investigation after that. It's not a crime to go out of town and to a dealership and somebody wire money. That part's not a crime. Where's the crime? They
Okay,
didn't say.
so
They
let
couldn't
me.
say.
We need to take a quick break. Quick break. I just want to ask you a couple more questions about one. How long will you be in this? And you can think about it. How long is going to be long enough before you say, okay, I've done all I can do? Okay, so think about that. And while you're thinking about that, I just want to thank the folks who are giving some super chats. They have comments to make. Is it a lady? A lady 747 says cons run several cons at once, and she knows it. That's what. And look, I know it. I know that they
Innocent
will
until
run several
proven
cons.
guilty. Whatever that happened to that.
Say that one more time. Say it
Innocent
again.
until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty.
I do believe in innocent until proven guilty, but I
I
also
can't
believe
tell.
I no. I
I
also believe
can't
that
tell.
there's too many. This look,
That's
there's
fine.
too
Things can look.
many.
Listen.
Wait, Sonya, hold on. Just because I'm not gonna buy in completely that this man is innocent doesn't mean I think everybody who is charged with a crime is absolutely guilty. We know that that's not the case, but at the same time, this is a man. I just don't understand why a man who isn't rich himself, he's not like highly educated, he's not like highly powerful, he's not a huge community activist or a politician. He's why pick on this though? Why would
Fair use, fair use, fair use. Um,
all of these different entities, all of these people, and the justice system point him out. Not, I mean, and of course, yes, his connection to Steve Harvey by way of his wife. Sure, that's how we found out about it, and that's why we even care. But the truth is, they ain't going after none of them people that's around them. They're going after him. So, at what point do you say to yourself, "Okay, I've done all I can do"? Or what if they delay a trial for another couple years? How long are you willing to wait to make this choice? That's my question. So with that said, while you're thinking on that, let me say a couple things to folks that are giving super chats. Thank you, the Tea Lounge. Tea Lounge asked how. Well, this is kind of similar to my other question. Says when did when did she need to be Dude's personal? Oh, okay. So when did you start sort of stepping in to help him as his advocate? Thank you, T Lounge. But wait, hold on. You can answer that when we come back. We're going to take a real super quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds, y'all. If you would like to donate to the channel, you may do so obviously through Super Chat, but also PayPal and Cash App. And you can check me out right This could all be some big.
Don't matter. It ain't their business. It ain't the way they was trying to insert themselves. Other stuff at this point, I don't really focus on those.
Mhm.
I just really focus on the more serious two cases that he has that can really.
So, you will ride with oh boy.
Um, as long as it takes, apparently.
So let's say he gets convicted. Will you stay in Atlanta and or wherever he
Oh
ends
no,
up
I'm
in
not
this
staying in
town?
Atlanta.
Okay.
Mm-mm. No, 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 no.
Are you willing to wait to make moves until after the determination has been made around his cases?
No, because I feel like the stuff that I can do, I don't have to really be in town to do it.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
do it from anywhere, actually. I don't necessarily have to be here for all of that. The main thing was checking up on the attorneys and making sure they were doing what they were doing, then doing whatever investigative work that I could do on my end for him that I know they are not doing, because there's a lot of things that the attorneys aren't doing that
What
they
if
can do.
Yeah, this is a good point. Somebody said, let them throw cakes. That having conversations on the phone is one thing, but being the face of Nesto as his advocate is a whole other. Um, and for somebody who's saying that she's gonna relocate, bitch, you're not engaged, you're not married. I mean, y'all don't know each. I'm just gonna say y'all don't even fucking know each other. And child,
what if he gets convicted? God forbid. What if he gets convicted and then he's gonna go and appeal? Would you stay or still stand by him through the appeal and all of that?
Um, so if the evidence shows he did it, um, and I only really focus on the serious charges. The other stuff at this point, I don't really focus on those.
Mhm.
I'm just really focused on the more serious two cases that he has that can really put time on him.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, like I said, the first one, I don't really concern myself with that one because, like I said, he didn't even know her at the time. So, and me and the attorney was talking on that, and again, we gotta wait in order for two things to come up to even show actually, you know, which are going to be the phone records, which is going to prove when they started talking. The
Mhm.
phone records are going to show that. Phone records are going to ping.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but this person said, Sonya, please listen. You ever talk to people? People actually care about you. You are being used by Nesto. You know, um, a lot of women they love to, in cases like this, they love to make that statement, right? And and that's her opinion, and that's fine. She's entitled to it, right? But it's just crazy to me because, again, this is a grown ass 55 plus year old woman with grandkids and two adult children. Um, she's very well aware of what's going on, what she's doing, um, and so on and so forth. That's like somebody committing a crime and you like, well, they didn't know any better. Better. That's bullshit. This bitch know exactly. She knows the risk that and she's even said them. I mean, the risk as far as, well, what if he actually did do it? And well, Lenore's saying, well, what if he's guilty? And what if he's not? She knows there's two sides to the story. She knows it's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? But just because she chooses to be laser focused and you know, whatever the word is, just focused on being on his side or whatever. I mean, that don't necessarily mean she being manipulated. I guess is my point. Women love to talk about women being manipulated and so on and so forth. No, she is a grown ass fucking woman. She's not being manipulated. Okay. If anything, she's stupid as hell. Because how you go from getting shot and damn near dying to then admitting that you dated another man that threatened to blow his brains out in front of you, and another man something about domestic violence, and then another man. She's admitted to all this crazy shit. This broad is stupid at best, but she ain't slow. Well, maybe you could make the argument that she is stupid and slow, but she know what the hell is going on. She ain't retarded, and that ain't a word I like to use. But damn it, bitch, she ain't. She's complicit, just as complicit in my opinion. Okay, so all this bullshit, you are being used by Nesto. That implies that she ain't got a fucking brain. She's she's articulate. She can express herself. She talks about running businesses and so on and so forth and all of these things. She lives on her own. She pays bills. No, she's not being used by anybody. So shut up.
Where he was at the time, that they said that that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, and then the other one, once the IT guy goes through, like I said, we were looking at other warrants and how they were read, how they were specifically detailed, and how this one was so general. And they were saying that the dates was the dates he was incarcerated instead of the actual dates that the downloads would show on the computer. So again, that's a huge red flag too, because we were looking at other warrants from the same county and how they were specifying with these other cases and this, that, and the other. But on his, they got the dates he was in jail instead of the dates that the computer would show, and then other things about it.
What is she
So
talking about?
those two are like more so the ones that I focus on more than anything, because the other ones, he had been in jail 18 months on that. And like I said, when I was talking to the attorney about it, it's basically a he say, she say, and they can bring out the text message to kind of show the nature of the conversation to see if anybody could prove, which they didn't in court, to say that this is why this happened, or this was the intention when this person did this and he didn't come through. You can see it in the conversations. Um, They didn't show any of that in court. They just left it at a statement. That's it. She didn't even bring the recorded statement in. And then she tried to say, well, I don't know, because I wasn't the officer that interviewed her. And I'm like, so you coming here with no recording. You're not the officer. You brought no documentation. You're just sitting here quoting something out the air. And that's just crazy to me. I'm like, what? So it's just a lot of stuff. And again, dealing with the police department that's handling this, why are they on everything when only one thing happened in Roswell? Everything else happened all over the place, but no other police department is on it, nor is the county. So it's out of jurisdiction. Like the two attorneys said prior to the two that he have now, something that's not right with this case. It's like it's a political. They feel like it's a political driven
But
situation.
that's my point. How is it possible that this is political? Like, who is Nesto? I mean
Okay,
that.
so
You know what I mean? Like, who is he? It would be like if a bunch of folks start doing that shit to me.
he
Like,
he is he is what you call.
Before I forget, because I'm old, child. Before I forget, I wanted to say, you know what she sounds like? I've been watching videos of people, sovereign citizens. I've been watching sovereign citizen videos in court, and she sound like, God, that sounds just like my mother. She sound like them sovereign citizens because, I mean, again, like they're about to discuss, who the fuck is Nesta? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I can imagine the Georgia courts. Again, I don't know anything about the law, right? In the grand scheme of things, but I could just imagine how what was I gonna say? I could just imagine like, oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, let's finish it. As far as what was I gonna say? All right, maybe it'll come back to me. Like this.
Well, an easy mark because he has a criminal past. And if
Easy
I'm
mark
if
for
I'm
who?
if
For
I'm
what?
if I'm looking for an easy mark, because you do have police officers.
A easy mark for what, girl? Oh my god. What was I gonna say? She sounded like the. I was listening to now granted, like, like everybody know, like everybody in jail is not guilty, right? But seriously, why would they want to keep this man locked up? For what? I mean, not even a bond, not even you know what I'm saying? Nothing. It's it's something to these charges. I don't give a damn what she talking about. I don't give a damn if it was my father. It's something to these damn charges.
That arrest people for career advancement. You do have officers that do things unlawful, just because they got a quota to meet.
But
Um,
but
Oh
this requires
God.
so
She sound like the people that get a ticket. What is it like at the end of the month or some shit? And the police be pulling you over, and the person and the driver say, "You pulling me over for a quota."
many people, Sonya, to be involved. Like you got
again,
victims.
like I
You
said,
got you got
you got them saying one thing, and he's saying he doesn't even think the ladies even said it like they said it. He said, I don't think they said that, and I don't think they said it the way they're saying it. He thinks the conversation they had was twisted and turned into a.
Oh, I know what I want to say. So basically, what I gather is that she's saying that everybody else is so incompetent that they can't handle this case properly. Um, is basically what she's saying. The judge is a fucking moron. The prosecutor, the public defender, whoever all the lawyers are, everybody's fucking incompetent. If it's up to her, but her. She the only one that knows the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs. And yeah, they took. Who is telling this bitch that? Besides, Nesto is telling her, oh, yeah, they took a statement, but they didn't get the full statement, and so on and so forth. And they omitted this, and, you know, they're trying to meet a quota and all of the things that she could think of. I mean, girl, come on. You got to do better than that. Because if you knew all of the things that you act claim like you knew, I mean, hell, you have prisoners who get themselves out of prison, bitch, from reading the law and getting the information. And like somebody said, she ain't cited no cases. You know what I'm saying? So it's prisoners that get themselves out of prison. But it seemed, I mean, she act like she know a lot of shit, but all of that shit is surfacey to me. I could just imagine. Oh, and matter of fact, the lawyer, Esquire, whatever her name is, I'm sure if she ever get a hold of this, I want to hear her reaction because she knows the law. I would much prefer to hear it from a lawyer. God have mercy, Lord have mercy on us.
Crime. That's what he thinks.
so
So I
let me
mean, like I said, everything right now is just speculation because there's no solid proof that was showed up in court on anything that they're saying.
yet.
And this is all just again my perspective, not his, because he can't talk. Only thing he could
And
say
that's
is
the thing, Sonya. So let me ask you this: what if he, just for argument's sake, let's say he did it? What do you expect him to say while he's in jail to you about these things?
if he knows he did it, and
Uh
and
huh.
he knows they can prove he did it.
Uh huh.
I never asked him, "Did you do it?" For him to say, "I didn't do it."
I thought you said though he said that he didn't do it. You
He
said that.
did say he didn't do it. I never asked him, "Did you do this?" You get me? For him to say, "I didn't do that." You get me? So if he felt that he did it, I don't know. I can't say. All thing I can say is, he says he's never lied to me, and y'all gonna say, "Well, he's a liar because he lied about this."
Girl. What?
Like we all tell lies, but there's certain things we won't lie about. And
Wait,
he could
what did
And
say
you
that's
is,
the
say?
thing, Sonya. So let me ask you this: what if he?
Sorry, I gotta rewind it back because I didn't hear what she said. Let me see. I'm gonna have to replay
he
that
did it,
part.
Uh
and
huh.
he knows they can prove he did it.
Uh huh.
Um, I never asked him, "Did you do it?" For him to say, "I didn't do it."
I thought you said though he said that he didn't do it. You
He
said that.
did say he didn't do it. I never asked him, "Did you do this?" You get me? For him to say, "I didn't do that." You get me? So if he felt that he did it, I don't know. I can't say. All thing I can say is, he says he's never lied to me, and y'all gonna say, "Well, he's a liar because he lied about this."
Girl. What?
Like we all tell lies, but there's certain things we won't lie about, and there's certain people we've never lied to. So to say a person, everybody on the history of breathing has lied.
I heard him lie to you on the call. You know what call I heard him lie to you?
What do you say?
The call when you were talking to him and you said when you were reading off the warrant or a charge or something you were reading, and you said, yeah, you were doing. I mean, it says you were here on this day with this one, and you were over here at this one on
Is
this
he
day,
in you to be
and you
faithful?
said, wait for the audience. You said, oh, this is why I couldn't catch up with you because you was busy, you was running, you had all this going on. That's what you said. So to me,
No,
and then you
I
said,
couldn't have never said that because I
oh,
was.
you did.
I know in May when I was in town for 2 weeks, but I didn't call him. I was in town for 2 weeks. I saw him
You said I
once,
couldn't.
but
That's why I couldn't catch up with you.
I didn't call him to come over and he said it or come around me. He couldn't do it. I didn't do that. So I don't know. I got to listen to that, what you're talking about, because I know when I was in town in May in 22, um, it was never, I saw him once, but I didn't try to see him again and he couldn't. But I could have said that. I mean, you would know, I don't know. I'm trying to think, why would I say that? Because I know I only saw him one
because
time.
that was your man in your mind, or y'all was talking or doing
No,
whatever,
only
and
time
you were
I
like,
caught
that's
real,
why I
only time I
can't catch
caught
up
real
with you.
feelings for him was July and August. I woke up, or maybe a week. It was the end of July, and then we kind of had a conversation like about how we were just friends. Let's just leave it at that situation.
Oh, we gonna hear that call? Cause today's
Y'all
call,
don't listen. Y'all don't hear half the calls. I don't know
what
why.
I'm telling you is the call we heard today, which was in August. We heard you say you mine.
You mind? Yes, the girl just sent me that. Because I got people that send me stuff that they follow the stuff and they'll watch it and send me stuff. So she just sent me that, and then she sent some stuff that these people was talking about.
And that was just in August. So that's
That's
after
what
you
I'm
were
saying.
saying
In
you
July,
wanted more.
August, yeah, July, August was in feelings, and I think because that's when he got the R charges, and it was just a lot of it was a lot of over support and sympathy and all. It was just a lot going on in July, August. And then he was feeling some type of way because he stopped speaking in June, and then this hit in July. And then, you know, his go-to wasn't his go-to, you know? So it was just a mess. It was just a mess. But like I said, that's
Thank
my
you,
boy.
Glorious Love. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I
Oh
mean,
Lord. So okay, but I heard you say on. Well, I didn't hear it yet, because I have to watch the one today. But I know the way you were talking on that call that I mentioned. That tells me that's your man. Y'all flirting. That tells me y'all got something. And I just wonder how you
You just
cut it.
want us to be in a relationship for whatever reason. That is my friend.
Okay. Okay. That's
And
your
that is my friend.
okay. Is there
And
anything that could keep him from not being your friend? Is there something you could find out that would cause you to say, yeah, this was a mistake, or he's really not my friend?
like if he actually did the stuff, I'm not talking about the I'm talking about the thing of it is the other stuff, it don't make sense. So I can't even put that even out there to say if he really did the other stuff, because the simple fact that the dad was involved with the situation with the girl, and the dad was nobody to play with, and ain't nobody gonna sit there and risk a situation where you got all these other things you doing out here and play with your life like that with somebody's daughter that you dealing with. So that right there, I can't even like just in common sense think that. And then like I said, the dates aren't even matching up on that. So it's just like I just really feel like that's just some bullshit. But and then the possession thing, like I said, that don't even. So like, let's say if there was any truth to him finessing the females out of women, out of money,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would have to hear both sides to kind of get a kind of thing, because like I said, me and him didn't do money. I didn't ask, I didn't give. We made sure it was none of that. It was no favors. It was nothing but strict conversation. It was no, can you come get me and take me this and bring me this and pay my bills? It was none of that. None of that. So for them to be, with them other situations that he had going on, just reading the warrant,
Mm-hmm.
because he hasn't spoken on anything, but just reading the warrant, the girl, doing all kind of stuff. Um, it's more to it. I really feel like it's it just seems. But when I say, oh, you're bashing the victims, no, it's just what history, when you got women, if people are really pay attention to criminal law and criminal charges and all these things that men go through with females that get in their feelings. And the first thing when they do is they run to the police and exaggerate a story or make up a complete story or tell a one-sided story that sounds this way when it actually is not, when the whole story gets out. It just I just have to wait and see. I just really don't feel like, and everybody try to say, well, he got all these things, he had to do one of those things. And I've dealt with cases where we had guys kind of similar to this, not exact, and dude didn't do none of it. He just got caught up with a bunch of mess, and it just ended up like, see, like, so as bad and as crazy as things can look, sometimes you can get a turnaround that can be like, man, I didn't even see that coming. And so, or it could be the other way around. I just don't see it with the way everything is reading, and the things that she could have brought in court, she purposely didn't bring, that could have actually just nailed it. She didn't bring no text messages. She just brought she just brought up a statement. That was it. She didn't bring any type of supporting evidence.
Well, like somebody said, they haven't even gone to trial yet. So how you can't do all of that without the trial? I mean, I seen the one Zoom thing they had. That wasn't a trial. What the fuck is she talking about?
Say, see, here's the conversations they're having. You see right here where she's asking for this and he's this. So you can see right there that she's saying this and he's responding to this like nothing. Nothing. So if you rat on zero, and then I'm looking at it, I already know from one girl going on the page talking about, I gotta tell you about your husband. Why are you going on trying to tell the wife on the husband now? What you bitter about? You know, you
Is that
mad.
someone being bitter or someone saying, "Hey, sis, let me give you a heads up"?
No, because of what she talked about, because she ended up talking to me afterwards, and what she talked about, it wasn't that. It was on some bitter stuff. This dude is ghosting me. This dude ain't calling. He ain't taking my calls no more. And I knew that's what it was, because he was in jail, and she didn't know, and he ain't answering my calls. So now let me go. Since, oh, you want to play them games? All right, bet. Let me fix this for you. So let me go to the wife and say some things.
Let me couple of quick questions. One, So Sonya didn't go on Nesto's social media and see his wife all over the social media. So when you guys were talking
After
at
he
first,
told me he was after he told me he was married, I did. Sure
okay.
did see it.
And
Yeah.
the other thing says you inserted yourself, not thinking about the wife. Did you
He
ever
asked
ask?
me, he asked me to help him. He asked me to do the legal side of it because he knew that everybody in his camp wasn't really familiar with this type of stuff and didn't know what to look for. And
That was the real you in, Sonya.
this was in September because I talked to him in August. So the first couple of weeks he was cool at first. And then we got to talking and I was like, well, had your lawyer come to see you? And he was like, no. And I was like, why hasn't your lawyer come to see you? He was like, I don't know. And then it just wasn't, the lawyer just wasn't doing anything. And nobody was calling and checking the lawyers to say, you need to be doing this, you need to do it. None of that. It was just nothing. No communication with the attorney.
Didn't somebody? I could have swore somebody said that he told the lawyer not to talk to Shirley. I wonder if she'll remember that.
And I was like, man, listen, you can't. I was in a hospital and everybody that, with the exception of two nurses and one doctor, everybody else on that staff need to be fired. I said, people be taking jobs they have no business doing. And it's crazy. You would say this person's a lawyer and he gonna do what he's supposed to. People don't do what they're supposed to. They'll take your money like he's going through now with the one lawyer that took his money and did nothing. Did nothing. Still hasn't done anything since June on some on his cases that could and it's things that can be done because of the time frame. He's done nothing. Nothing. So I know that, and I know that from working with lawyers, they take the money and they be like, oh, I ain't here, I ain't here. And, I don't want you to call and they don't do the work. So I know you got lawyers that'll take the money and sell themselves and
That's what I
not do
thought.
anything. And my
I said that's what I thought. I knew I remembered that. He told his lawyer not to talk to Shirley, bitch.
whole point to him was, what are your people doing? Are they there for you? Are they doing
Somebody said all his friends and several family members are criminals. They know about the law.
everything in a capacity? And he was like, no, this is not them, or they don't have the time. He was just telling me whatever the scenario was people. And I was just like, well, let me know, because he looked out for me when I was in the hospital.
But let's go back to that real quick. He looked out for you when you were in the hospital.
Real quick, sorry to stop it again, but before they go there, so the real issue is that he paid that lawyer all that money and he couldn't get no bond because you can't do a damn thing until you go to trial. So what the hell are we talking about here? She don't know none of the evidence. You know what I'm saying? She can read all the statements she wants, but um, isn't that what they call the discovery, the evidence? Um, so all this is statements, and I mean, at this point, it is kind of like a he say, she say, but at the same time, I think somebody said, the evidence hasn't been presented yet, and by him not having a lawyer, you know, he's probably not gonna know what evidence they have until he can get another damn lawyer or get closer to the trial date. I will say I think it's kind of fucked up that he been in there what like a year now. What is going on with the court system? My God. I mean, I'm not advocating for him or nothing like that, but goddamn, why is it taking so long? That is the crazy part. But he's even said, um, or well, we know in general, like people be sitting for 2 or more years, 2 to 4 years, waiting to go to trial. What the hell is that all about?
He texted you. You couldn't talk. He was texting you.
He didn't know I couldn't talk until like a couple of days later when I was like, I got a tube in me.
Uh huh.
Um,
But
and
you
and
act
I don't
like
talk
he
much.
was there. Wait. But when I hear you say the way he showed you, the way he was there for you, because I've heard you say that, in other interviews and stuff. My thought is, I didn't realize it was COVID. In my mind, that means he's coming to the hospital. He's sitting with you. He's spending time with you. He's, helping you with your meals, or just
No,
helping you
I
pass
only seen him
time.
a couple of
And
times
and
in
I
life.
understand. Wait. I understand he couldn't do that because it was COVID, which makes
Yeah.
it even worse. Which means now you couldn't even talk to him on the phone because you had the tube. You were texting. So how was this nigga really doing anything for you?
Trust me, when you sitting up there laid up thinking about you ain't gonna make it out of here and you dying, and people that you've been talking to, aren't even picking up the phone to say anything to you via text, via nothing. And then this person you just met who don't owe you anything, and we had already had a conversation before I even got sick. We just gonna be cool at a distance. Don't ask me for shit. I'm not gonna ask you for shit. So he knew it wasn't not like a come up. Like after I get through this, he already knew you ain't ever getting anything, and I don't ever want anything from you. So all that was established before I got sick. Um, I just feel like he didn't have to be there at all. What was the point in calling and asking every day, are you
Because
okay with what the doctor's saying?
some men are patient as a motherfucker.
Even when I got out, he never asked me for anything. He never asked me for anything. When I got
Because there
out,
was no time, but a lot of time in between. You were on the move, and you're back and forth, and he got other women. He got C2 child. He got a lot going on.
Exactly.
Wait, let
no,
me
like
ask you this. Let me ask you this too. Couple. Well, let me read these super chats real quick. Fedora wants to know: do you have access to any evidence that's been presented? Sounds to me like you're saying there no evidence
he
has.
don't have any. And it's another person that's working on it and trying to get stuff. And again, nothing's coming up on that end. He keeps
Okay.
calling. I got
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
I'll let you go.
yeah, I got
You got to go right now. Is that him? Uh-oh. Did I lose her? Oh, that must be him calling. I'm gonna take her down, put her in the back. Anyway, well, y'all, thank y'all for hanging in here with me. Hi, Toya. Thank you, Toya Abstract. Great show, V. Lenore. Sonya, please seek therapy. This Dusty has a pattern of it sad that your self-esteem is so low that you can't see truth. I've really, I'll be honest. I know that people have a lot of negative opinions about Sonya. I feel like I don't know her, but I feel like in this case, I mean, she's possibly a victim as well. I mean, the difference is she may have signed up for it, but I do appreciate her transparency tonight. As much as she did share, I had a couple more questions that I already knew the answers to, but I wanted to see how much she wanted to share with the audience. But to all of you, thank you. I appreciate she spent 2.5 hours with us. Ernesto was calling her before, and she was gonna have him, come on. He can't really talk, but I was curious to hear you know, what he'd be willing to share about his experience so far. That would have been interesting. But anywho, thank you all for kicking it with me. Oh, also there's some folks that sent cash apps. Thank you so.
Okay, so I'ma just because I think I got another 15 minutes and then my battery about to die, and I'ma just wrap this up. Let me read a couple of questions real quick. Shout out to Nyla Vibes listening. Hear good things about this interview. Yeah. So again, I just got to shout out sis here because she really asked the questions because Nyla couldn't get no interview because Nyla would have went all the way in, but I think Nyla would have been respectful. I just think because obviously because of things she said, Sonya felt some type of way, so nobody really anticipated on Sonya coming out giving all these goddamn interviews. I mean, she's done several, but you know, the the few interviews that I listened to, like I said, it wasn't anything significant. But out of those, uh, the little information I had or heard or whatever, this by far is the best interview. Um, she didn't. I mean, she checked her when she would try to overtalk, which a lot of people just kind of fall back and they let people ramble. She let her speak, which is cool, but at the same time, you know, um, Sonya like to overtalk people, and she just go on and on and on. So I appreciate Lenore for stepping in and saying, "No, hold up, wait a minute, let me get my question out." You know what I mean? Because a lot of interviewers won't do that. She kept it flowing, consistent, and I really appreciate that. I really enjoyed the interview. I thank her for like really just asking the questions. Well, you said this, and why'd without being offensive. And I'm a little surprised because it seemed like, Sonya want to be treated with such kid gloves, you know, and she stay worried about the comment section. It's like, girl, shut up, grow up. Um, love reggae. I think I might. Well, let me hurry up because I'm like I said, once this die, I'm done. And my battery already at 19. Oh, it's at 19%. Okay, I'm gonna get a couple more comments. Innocent until proven guilty is the standard in a court of law. In the real world, grown folks can use their common sense. Everybody ain't lying on finesse though. Um, Truth is, Sonya doesn't care if he's guilty. It's just easier to pretend to the public that she believes him. She is vile, just like him. She is no victim of his lies. She matches him. And this is the comment that I agree with the most. She is nobody's victim. Okay? Be very clear about that. This lady, she can hold a conversation. She pays her bills. She's mentally, you know what I mean? Like she's alert oriented times three. Okay, anybody that work in the nursing home know what I'm talking about. um, Diane's entire demeanor changed as the interview was progressing. She was not able to outtalk or overtalk the interviewer. Her interview with Sylvia was a waste of time. Okay, so Sylvia was the other one. Sylvia and Fifi, I didn't even really bother to listen to at all. Like I said, maybe a minute to 2 minutes, and I knew that was gonna be some bullshit. Um, and Sylvia's, like I said, I listened for maybe about 15, 20 minutes, and I was like, on the fence about it, nah. You know, this was a good interview. You could tell she didn't feel comfortable having her weak excuses challenged. Um, don't need to hear Tasha K's interview after hearing this one. You nailed it. Yeah, I never even. Um, I just heard the clip with Tasha K, and I damn sure was not gonna pay for it. Um, just a lot of good feedback regarding her interview style. I it would be nice to get her back. I know this was long as hell. I mean, this was damn near 2.5 hours. But I will say it was a lot to cover. So I think she should hopefully do a part two. Again, like I said, I can't say it enough. I really liked her style. And I like that she just did not let let Sonya just run the show, say whatever, and not really challenge. I like for people to challenge because I don't want to, I think a lot